Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Listen to Speak podcast. I'm Sarah, and today we're finally continuing something we promised you in the previous episode.
Yes, last time we talked all about mindset, how your thoughts shape your learning. And at the end of that episode, we said we'd dive into something many learners struggle with.
Exactly. Motivation, or better said, the myth of motivation.
The great creature people wait for, like a magical unicorn, beautiful, inspiring, and never on time.
Yes. And here's the thing. A lot of listeners commented on our last episode asking, how do I stay motivated? So today, as promised, we're here with a full episode dedicated to exactly that.
But with a twist, because we're not just talking about motivation, we're talking about why you should not wait for motivation.
Yes. And we're going to explain this in the same way we always do here. Simple, clear, friendly, and useful for your English learning journey. Why we're talking about motivation today. Let's start by connecting this to our previous episode. Last time, we talked all about mindset, how your thoughts shape your learning. And at the end of that episode, we said we'd dive into something many learners struggle with.
Yes. Last episode, we said your thoughts can push you forward or stop you. Today, we're going deeper, because even with a good mindset, many learners wait for one thing before taking action.
Motivation.
And that's exactly why some people stay stuck. So, we're here to break the myth, to show you that motivation is not step one. Learning English doesn't start when you feel motivated. It starts when you take action, even a tiny one.
The problem with waiting for motivation. Ryan, let me ask you something. How many times have you said this sentence, I'll study when I feel motivated?
Too many times. And we've all done it. We think motivation is like Wi-Fi. Sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's gone. And when it's gone, we do nothing.
Exactly, but here's the truth. Motivation is not the signal, it's the result.
You don't wait to feel motivated before starting. You start, and then your brain gives you motivation.
Let's make it simple. Explain this the Listen to Speak way. Simple and beautiful.
Sure. Think of motivation like energy. You don't get energy before you move. You get it by moving.
So, action creates motivation.
Yes, you feel motivated after you begin, just like you feel hungry after you smell food, not before.
Wow. My stomach agrees.
Your brain works the same way. Start small, brain rewards you, motivation appears.
Let's say you want to practice English for 20 minutes, but you don't feel motivated, so you wait.
And 2 hours later, you're scrolling on your phone watching cat videos.
Exactly. But imagine you tell yourself, I'll practice for 2 minutes. Just 2.
2 minutes is easy. Anyone can do 2 minutes.
And once you start 2 minutes, you naturally do more. Because now your brain says, hey, this feels good. Let's keep going.
Motivation arrives after action, not before.
Why this matters. And this is why we're making this episode today. We saw how your mindset changes your progress. Now we want to show you how your habits and actions keep you moving forward, even without motivation.
Many English learners blame themselves for feeling lazy. But the truth is, you're not lazy. You're just waiting for something that isn't supposed to come first.
And if you understand this, you can finally break the cycle.
The rule of microactions. That's why we teach learning in small steps here. 5 minutes, 1 new word, a short podcast, a little practice.
Because micro actions create macro results. Small steps become big progress. And the best part? Small steps don't need motivation.
They create it.
So, in today's episode, we want you to remember one big idea. Don't wait for motivation. Create it with small actions.
The smallest step is always better than waiting for the perfect moment.
There is no perfect moment, but there is a perfect action, the one you take today.
Let me tell you a little story. When I first started learning English, I had this big dream. One day, I want to speak fluently. But guess what? For a long time, I was waiting for the perfect moment. The moment I'd suddenly feel excited, motivated, ready.
And that moment never came.
Exactly. Until one day, something simple happened. I watched a 30-second English clip and repeated one sentence. Just one. No plan, no notebook, no motivation. Just a small action.
And that small action changed everything, right?
Yes. Because the next day, I repeated another sentence. And the day after that, I watched a short video. And without noticing, those tiny actions built a habit. A habit that later built my confidence.
This is exactly what we want listeners to understand. Motivation didn't start your journey, action did.
Actually, I want to add something. Most people think motivation is an emotion. But in reality, it's a pattern.
Ooh, I like that. Explain it.
It's a cycle. And the cycle works like this. Action, progress, motivation, more action.
Yes, that's the loop. But if you start by waiting for motivation, the cycle never begins.
Exactly. It's like waiting for water to boil before turning on the stove.
Impossible.
Here's something interesting. Your brain releases dopamine, a happy chemical, when you complete a task, even a small one.
Which means your brain doesn't care if you study for 30 minutes or 30 seconds. It only cares that you start.
So, if you want motivation, give your brain something to celebrate.
Even something tiny.
Okay, let's give our listeners a challenge.
Yes, the 2-minute rule challenge. For the next 7 days, don't study English for 20 minutes. Don't plan anything big. Just do 2 minutes every day.
2 minutes of reading, 2 minutes of listening, 2 minutes of repeating sentences. Anything.
And after 2 minutes, you can stop.
But most of the time you won't stop because you're already in motion.
And action creates motivation.
So let's give some real examples. Here are ways you can use the "don't wait for motivation" rule in your life.
Don't wait to feel ready to speak. Just say one sentence.
Don't wait to feel smart enough to read a book. Read one paragraph.
Don't wait to feel confident. Practice for 2 minutes.
Don't wait for inspiration. Create it.
Every small action is a message to your brain that says, I'm moving forward. And look, everyone feels lazy sometimes. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means you're human. Instead of fighting laziness, use it. Tell yourself, I'm too lazy for 20 minutes, but I'm not too lazy for 2.
That's the trick. Lower the barrier. Make action easier than inaction.
And you'll notice something amazing. After you start, you stop feeling lazy.
That's the magic of action.
So here's the message we want you to walk away with today. You don't need motivation to begin. You need a beginning to feel motivated.
Don't wait for the perfect day. Don't wait for energy. Don't wait for confidence. Don't wait for motivation.
Start with one small step. The smallest one you can imagine.
Let action be your teacher. Let consistency be your superpower. Let motivation follow you, not lead you.
You know what I realized? People think progress happens in big, dramatic moments, like suddenly they wake up and speak fluent English, or suddenly they feel powerful and motivated.
But real growth actually happens in boring moments. Moments when nothing special is happening. You're tired, you're lazy, you're not inspired, but you still do that tiny action.
Exactly. Fluency is built in the quiet moments, when no one is clapping, when no one is watching, when you decide to show up for 2 minutes anyway.
That's the moment that changes everything because you're proving something to yourself. I can be consistent even when I don't feel like it.
And that is stronger than motivation, because motivation is a feeling, but consistency is a skill.
Let's take it deeper. Every time you take a small action, you're training your brain.
Not just training your English, training your identity.
Exactly. If you study English today for 2 minutes, your brain says, "Oh, I'm the kind of person who learns English every day."
Identity is powerful because once your brain believes something about you, your actions start matching that identity.
For example, if your brain believes, "I'm consistent," you act consistently.
If your brain believes, I always take small steps, you stop waiting for big moments.
And suddenly, motivation is no longer a problem because your actions don't come from motivation anymore. They come from your identity.
Something else we need to talk about. Many learners fail because they put too much pressure on themselves.
Yes, they say, "I need to improve fast. I need perfect pronunciation. I must study for 1 hour every day."
And when you make a goal too heavy, you avoid it. Just like when you see a huge pile of laundry, you pretend it doesn't exist. But when you see only one shirt, you fold it without thinking.
Small actions remove pressure. They make learning light, simple, doable.
And when learning becomes light, you come back again tomorrow, and again, and again.
That's how you build unstoppable progress.
There's something funny about motivation. The people who wait for it never get it.
And the people who don't wait for it have more than they need.
It's like confidence. You don't get confident before speaking. You get confident because you speak.
Motivation works the same way. You don't feel motivated before learning English. You feel motivated because you learned English.
So the paradox is, the less you depend on motivation, the more motivation you get. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine the version of you 6 months from now. The you who understands more English, speaks more confidently, feels proud, feels free.
That future version of you is watching you today, watching the small choices you make, the 2 minutes you give, the tiny steps that look too small right now.
But for your future self, those tiny steps are everything. Because that version of you doesn't exist without today's action.
Your future self is cheering for you, saying, "Please don't wait. Please don't stop. Just start. I need you to start so I can exist."
And there's something really beautiful about that. You're not just learning English, you're building your future self, 2 minutes at a time.
So let's put everything into one simple truth. Motivation is not the beginning of learning. It's the result of learning.
You build motivation by doing the smallest actions. You grow consistency by lowering the pressure. You build confidence by showing up even when you don't feel like it.
And you build your future self with tiny, simple, boring steps. But those steps are powerful. They are everything.
So today, right after this episode, don't wait. Don't think too much. Just do something small.
Read one page. Listen to 1 minute. Repeat one sentence. Anything.
That tiny action is the seed. Tomorrow, your motivation grows from it.
And that is how real progress begins. With the smallest, simplest step.
All right, everyone, before you leave, one small request.
The easiest action of your day. 0 effort, maximum impact.
If you enjoyed this episode, if you learned something, if you smiled even once,
Go ahead and subscribe to the Listen to Speak podcast channel.
it helps us grow, it helps more learners find us, and most importantly, it keeps you connected to every new episode we make.
So don't wait. Don't say, I'll do it later. That's the kind of motivation trap we talked about today.
Just click subscribe now. One small action. That's all it takes.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.